The wording of the resolution here in Prince William County says, whereas the Prince William Board of County Supervisors has determined that illegal immigration is causing economic hardship and lawlessness in this county. And I want to know how it is the board went about determining that, because it seemed that there was very little fact-finding prior to the board's consideration. And I just want to know what the empirical evidence was of that impact, not people's feelings, but what empirical data did you pull together to determine this lawlessness? I'm looking at a chart that suggests, for example, that crime has gone down. Was it the facts that were motivating you, or was it something else?
You're trying to say that John Sturp and myself simply went about this without...
No, I'm just asking a question, Mr. Stewart. Perhaps you can answer.
I'm trying to lay we did look at the impacts on the community. And the thing to remind yourself here is that the community identified this issue. The community identified the problems in terms of crime. The community identified the issues in the neighborhoods with housing overcrowding.
It was very revealing that Chairman Stewart couldn't offer any facts. He could only cite the claims made by what he referred to as the community.
When they described the population that they wanted to remove, they would use these kinds of reasons: speaking Spanish, playing Latin music, owning a chicken, growing corn, not having health insurance, or living in crowded conditions. These are not a sign of your immigration status. This is a sign of a particular immigrant community that is struggling to overcome poverty.
But the true revelation came with the testimony of Mike Hethman, lead attorney for FAIR, and Dan Stein, its president. FAIR is a national anti-immigration lobbying organization classified as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center and as a nativist extremist group by the Anti-Defamation League.
Foreign appearance, foreign language can be considered in the totality of the circumstance analysis.
You can't enforce immigration laws without inconveniencing some people. But nevertheless, this idea that because we lack certain facts is therefore an argument not to act is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And I am the drafter of this ordinance. It's on our website. Professor's little, Chisti's little book here that he passed out yesterday about this problem nationally. If you go through that, all the statutes cited in there, they do come out of our shop. So to the extent that there is some kind of mad scientist behind all this, we'll be happy to take credit for this.
So this is a laboratory right here.
I like to see it. I mean, I didn't set it up, but it's, or maybe it's a field study, you know, I don't know what scientific metaphor you want to use. The Republican Party is very worried, you know, in the coming up election. And, you know, a year ago, they were even more worried, you know, in the middle of the Iraq War and Bush's ratings plummeting. Some of the Republicans said, we've got to win out there in the heartland, you know, district by district. And we can't be too closely associated with this president. Help Save Manassas, Mr. Lateef called us up and said, you know, we want to do something. So we said, okay, here's what we suggest. They approached Mr. Sturp in particular. And I think at that point, we heard Mr. Stewart and Mr. Sturp talking about, well, there seems to be a political interest in this, but is this really a problem? And they started looking around and saying, you know, well, what do we know? At that point, they became interested in the idea as a political issue.
You mean election-related?
As election-related.